People, we're back in the craft corner, and you know what that means. Yeah, we're gonna talk about crafts. I think no matter your romantic status this Valentine's Day, everyone should take it as an excuse to shower their friends in the form of a craft night. That's my hill now. Allow me to die on it for the next 22 minutes. That's my guess. Am I right? These crafts aren't really going to be Valentine's Day specific, so you could use them for any craft night. I'm not going to tell anybody. I've noticed that over the last couple years, craft nights have just gotten more popular in general. Obviously, that's great, and people are getting creative. I feel like last Valentine's Day, I saw a lot of princess parties where people were making princess hats and crowns. Very cute. I'm excited to see what people are going to get up to this year. So much so that I want to get some skin in the game and maybe influence you towards good with crafts that perhaps create a sense of connection within our group chats and create that warm glowing ember of friendship that we feel in our hearts when we're driving home later that night. So let me give you, I don't know, like 10 awesome Valentine's Day craft ideas. And guess what? They're good. You're gonna actually want to use them. That's my guarantee. Before we get started, hi, I'm Kathleen if you're new here. I love to make things. Always have, always will. Lately we've been collaging a lot, but there's also just a lot of creativity in general on this channel and creative self-expression through sustainable style. So if that sounds fun, feel free to subscribe if you want. Let's get started. My favorite craft ideas are the ones that integrate a little piece of everybody in attendance at the craft night, so that the end result is collaborative and infused with deep, beautiful, friendship energy. Where's my ruler? Here's an example of one such collaborative craft. Everyone shows up to the craft night with a bouquet of flowers. They're all different. One person has tulips, one person has daisies, one person has the filler greens. That's probably me. The first part of this idea is that you would mix and match from everyone's bouquets to create your own that you can take home at the end of the night. Fun, but that's just half of it. The other half of this equation is also making a super cute and simple flower frog just using polymer clay so that you can arrange your flowers and have a forever souvenir from your magical time with your friends. If you're not familiar with a flower frog, I believe it originates from Japan, from ikebana, Japanese flower arranging. They're these little devices that allow you to arrange flowers in organic ways. Like this. I really love a weirdly asymmetrical flower arrangement, and you can get really wild with these flower frogs. And they're super easy to make. You can make it as simple as using a cookie cutter to cut out a circle and then a pencil to punch out different sized holes. Pop it in the oven, glaze it. After you glaze it, it should be relatively splash proof, although if you don't use resin, it won't be waterproof, so just don't dunk it under the water if you can help it. The bouquet of it all feels very Valentine's Day-y, kind of romantic, which is fun because the goal is showering our friends with love. Here are some more collaborative ideas and projects that feature an end result that includes all of your friends' work. Picture this. The craft is making a bag charm. Nothing revolutionary there. I get it. But we're going to be using polymer clay, again, to make some cute custom beads that represent us. Each person. But instead of everyone working on like 2 or 3 beads for themselves for their bag charm, everyone's gonna make a set of matching beads. For example, maybe you're known as the knitting friend, the friend who likes to knit. Maybe you make a set of 6 little yarn balls if there are 6 people at the party. Or you're the horse girl of the group and you make a set of 6 little horseshoes. Cute. Now at the end of the party, after the beads are baked and colored and glazed, however you want them to be, you pass the beads out so that everybody has one of each. And now you have a matching friendship talisman that you can all have little matching trinkets on your bag. That's cute. A couple things to keep in mind. One, you gotta choose a symbol for your bead that you could realistically make multiples of in a relatively short period of time. This is just one evening of hanging with your friends. So for example, back to the horse girl idea, instead of making 6 beautifully intricately sculpted little horse beads, we do the horseshoes, which are much simpler. Does that make sense? Also, if you're hosting this get together, I recommend you ask people to come prepared with their idea for what symbol represents them so you can get started ASAP, because there are a couple steps to this project. If I were to do this, I would use polymer clay, like I said, but specifically I like this translucent clay. It gives the final product kind of like a frosted milk glass look, and it feels like a vintage bead when you're done. At least to me, especially if you glaze it with a high gloss glaze. For color on polymer clay, you can use acrylic paint or acrylic paint markers. My personal favorite way to add color is to shave chalk pastel into the clay itself to change the color of the actual clay. And for glazing, there are all kinds of just air dry clay glazes. I have the Sculpey one. You could use gesso. You could use Mod Podge. If you're crazy and experienced, you could use resin, but that's a little over the top for me personally. In general, this craft probably works better with a bit of a experienced clay group, but if you have a big group with mixed experience levels, might I recommend doing something very similar, but instead of making clay beads, you replace that with thrifted or vintage beads. One thing about the thrift store, lots of costume jewelry with funky beads and charms. So before the party, go hunting at your local spot, maybe order a pack or two off eBay, and you'll be set up. I also think this would be cute to use to make some bent wire charms like dragonflies, butterflies, people. Can you imagine this like wabi-sabi mix-matched bead energy? So fun. This is also a great idea if you know that your crafty friends are already drowning in craft supplies. Ask everyone to bring their own bead craft hoards and have a bead jewelry making free-for-all. That way you still get to inject a little bit of your friend's personality and energy into the little charm that you're making. It's kind of a win-win. And like I said, you don't have to make a bag charm. You could make a charm for a necklace, or you could make a bracelet, or a shoe charm, lanyard, whatever. Something that's not very romantic or fun, having stinky breath. So real quick, let me tell you about today's sponsor. If you're gonna watch me in my own bathroom, at least let me tell you a scary story, okay? Picture this, you've been traveling for 12 to 16 hours. You missed your layover, your fault. Your flight had turbulence, not your fault. And you finally stumble into your hotel, and man, does your brain feel fuzzy. And so do your teeth. Nothing hits better than brushing your teeth after a full day of traveling. So you pull out your electric toothbrush and it's dead. Dun dun dun! Did I scare you? I have goosebumps. But never fear, because thankfully, Suri is here to help. Thank you, Suri, for sponsoring this video. Suri is a sleek sonic brush with this beautiful and well-balanced aluminum body. This is the winter fern color, very fancy. And also, get this, a 1-month battery life or more. And for all you travelers out there, Suri also features a UVC cleaning case so you can stay hygienic while you're on the go. Ooh. The thing that really sets Suri apart for me is the fact that the heads are plant-based, and Suri offers free recycling as well. Awesome. So if you'd like to level up your toothbrushing experience, you can use my code Kathleen15 to get an extra 15% off Suri. You'll see why I love it so much. Thank you, Suri, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the crafts. On a similar note, you could apply the same idea but to hair accessories specifically. Have you seen those cute clips with the beads hanging off of them? Adorable. Also, punching a hole in the metal clip might be a barrier if you don't have a drill or a Dremel, but I think you could also just tie a string of beads through that little loop if they're small enough. Also, the idea of thrifting some lockets and putting your pet's portrait in them, incredible. If y'all are fiber artists, you could crochet or knit some like icord tubes and turn them into a hair bow or a necklace, lace to put a charm on. I think fiber arts add such a nice texture to things that are typically so metallic, like a necklace chain. Okay, if you want something that you can all wear and match, I love the idea of creating a matching set of applique patches. We talked about applique patches in a pretty recent crafting video, but just setting out a bunch of thrifted fabric to patchwork together. And if you use the same logic as making the mix and match bag charm, if everybody makes the same patch, like 5 or 6 of them, maybe it's an olive, maybe it's just a star, pretty easy to make multiples of. At the end, when you hand them out to everybody, you'll have a collection of 5 or 6 matching applique patches that you could add to your shirt or your jacket or your pants, and you will never feel cooler. So like I said, stars, easy, hearts, easy. You could build out your favorite food or your favorite animal. The world is your oyster. Ooh, an oyster. That'd be good too. Okay, staying on the fabric topic, instead of making a matching batch of applique patches, whoa, slap those patches on a square background and you've suddenly got a fabric coaster. The final result, a mix and match stack of coasters, one of each from all your friends. That'd be so cute to have on your coffee table, a great conversation starter if you're ever hosting people, and just a really unique treasure for your home. Okay, away from fabric, let's talk about paper. Paper. I've got a couple of ideas here. First, making journals or notebooks or zines together. There are so many techniques for bookbinding that would work, like a simple saddle stitch journal, an accordion book, or a single page zine fold. However, my favorite idea for this, all of your friends trace their hands, then you combine everybody's hands into one little book. Everyone's hands will be slightly different shape and size, so you won't end up with the most streamlined edge, but I think the idea of your friends' hands keeping your words and your sketches soft and safe is kind of magical. Another paper idea, collaborative collage calendar. Well, kind of perfect since we're still early in the year right now. So depending on how many people are at the party, everyone's responsible for 1 month, and you make a set of matching collages for that month. And then at the end, everyone walks away with a full calendar. Now again, depending on how many people are at this craft night, you may have to collage, I don't know, 5 to 10, I don't know how many friends you have, of the same month collage. So I would recommend taking a really simple approach. Maybe even just cutting out the letters of the month's name. You could even stack a bunch of paper together and cut out a letter at a time to make things go a little more quickly, or go super intricate, fly free. And if you're the host, make sure to have templates already prepped and ready to go for every month so that people don't have to spend time drawing out grids and boxes. I really like this calendar idea. And speaking of, I'll take a moment to mention that I have a monthly collage wallpaper available for digital download on my website, kathleenillustrated.co. You can use it for your phone or your iPad, made from a collage that I cut out by hand. All proceeds this month are going to a local to me refugee and immigration support group called Chris, Ohio. So if you're interested in donating to a good cause, the link is down below. Shit is very bad in the US right now. I know I say that every video, but I think it's important to acknowledge that things are not normal and not acceptable. So I really appreciate that we can raise some money together, and thank you so much to everybody who's already purchased one. I really appreciate it. Okay, onwards with more paper. This one is very low lift and would be fun with a more low stakes crafting group. I have been loving making these paper garlands because it is, one, so quick, but also immediately satisfying. There are tons of patterns for these just on Pinterest or Google. A lot of vintage ones. I love the Japanese floral ones and also the vintage Christmas ones like the angels. But also it's really simple to make your own template. You could make anything into a paper garland. All you have to do is sketch what you want on that final folded pieces of paper and make sure that the sketch is touching the left and the right side. And then cut away. Voila! Swans, stars, anything. Kind of similar to making the collaborative calendar. I think it would also be very cute to make a collaborative set of greeting cards so that you are set up with a whole stack of cards to use throughout the year, made by your friends. So cool. So similarly, everyone makes a bunch, a stack of them, and then you divvy them out at the end so everyone gets a little mix match. Maybe one person's responsible for birthdays, one person does holidays. You get the gist. You could recreate old vintage weird ones that you find on the internet. You could paint or use stickers. I personally think that it'd be super fun to use this paper weaving technique. All you need is construction paper and some scissors, maybe a little glue, and I think you could whip out a stack of these pretty quick and have a ton of fun doing it. I would love to receive a birthday card made of paper weaving. I'll just put that out there. My birthday's not for 8 months. Okay, my last paper craft. This one's kind of expert level, but I think the idea of making paper dolls out of yourself and all of your friends would be such a fun craft night activity. So as soon as everyone arrives, they get their picture taken, and the host would need to print out a bunch of copies of these cute little selfies. I think the low quality black photocopy vibe is cool, so don't waste too much ink if you don't want to. And then you can just go for it. With collage, you could cut out fabric, you could use pipe cleaners, you could use tulle to make cute little outfits, either just for yourself, or maybe you like trade with another friend and you do theirs and they do yours, or whatever. Also, if you're all pet people, making a little paper doll but have your pet's head at the top. Stunning. I've seen people turn these into magnets, into bookmarks, ornaments. I think it would be really cute to take a picture at the end of all of them and use them as the contact photo for your friend in your phone. How quirky, how special. Okay, that was a lot of ideas. I'm gonna rapid fire even more, if you'll allow me. Have a bedazzle everything night. And I mean everything. Get some wine stoppers from the thrift store. Bedazzle the crap out of those. Maybe put a weird little thrift store trinket on top of it. Thrift some photo frames. Just cover them with rhinestones and sequins and shells and rocks, whatever. Gloves. Maybe even some tights. There are no rules when it comes to bedazzling. Also, yarn crafts. I don't know what the real word for this is, but like these vintage clothing hangers that are wrapped with yarn. Cute, fun, add a little whimsy to your closet and your life. So you could make the clothing hangers, you could make a little covering for your charging cord. If you're gonna have your charging cord with you at all times, it might as well be cute, okay? Again, if you're pet people, there's nothing better than a wonky little drawing of your special little pet. So do a pet portrait swap and make sure you thrift some frames, because these are pieces of art and they do deserve to be framed. The sillier the better, I think. Okay, let's soften up a little bit with sewing pillows or like soft plushes, trinkets. I love vintage patterns for these type of stuffed objects. You could go big, make an actual animal from a vintage pattern, make a giant version of the first letter of your name, make a giant apple, or go small. And then you'll end up with a little bag charm or a pincushion or just a cute little guy. that sits on your desk. Cat Rabbit actually has a really awesome book all about trinkets and making them out of felt. Really simple workflow. Here it is. Cute. The instructions on how to make a tiny stuffed pickle, are you kidding me? So go check out Cat Rabbit if you need some more inspiration and instruction there. Another rapid fire idea, any type of personalization on a badge or a pin or whatever. I'm talking just embroidering the first letter of your name on your shirt. I like these ornaments that use just kind of like a stiff wire and some beads. I think my favorite are these dainty little seed bead badges. And my final idea is to share the wealth with a clothing swap or a craft swap. Spring is coming, and it is the perfect time to pass on the items that you're not loving so much anymore and maybe refresh with some new stuff. So do a little swap with your friends. This would also be a great thing to just make in your community if you want to make some new friends. Open it up to a larger group. And it doesn't have to be just clothes. Like I said, you could do craft supplies. I know we all have plenty, probably. And I love the idea, especially of swapping with your friends, because you get the bonus of receiving an item from somebody that you love and always kind of having that memory and good feeling attributed to that piece. I just saw that Liz at Beep World just posted about a Galentine's Day clothing swap in the DC area, so I'm sure that there are some near wherever you are. And if there's not, might be a good opportunity to do it yourself. Okay, I think that's enough. I think that's enough to at least get us started, right? Right. My brain is officially shucked of all Palentine's Day related craft ideas. So I'm curious if you're planning on spending any time crafting with your friends and spending time showering your friends with love and appreciation in the form of crafts, because they deserve it, and so do you. Let me know if you have other ideas that I haven't touched on here for fun communal crafting. I think if you want to have more of a mission behind it, getting together to make protest art and signs to hand out to people at marches would be an awesome way to serve the community with your creative skills. So let me know what you're planning to do at your next craft night, if you have any fresh ideas, if any of these stood out to you, and we can keep the brain meld going on down in the comments. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're taking care of your neighbors, and I really appreciate you being here. I will see you soon, and I love you very much, even though you're very stinky. Okay, bye.